I had a challenge with my hair.
Were you always passionate about hair and beauty?
I had this type of hair where you play today and after a few days, up here is all out and it's just showing it's old. So I told myself, I'll not be spending all this money in salon. Like after every week, I have to go to salon. That's a lot of money.
What were you doing before you started the salon?
I was a manager and I saw how the business goes. I learned a lot during the time I was managing the salons. From there, I got the experience because I was from school, campus.
How did that feel when you have this whole degree that people have told you is going to get you a job, but then it's not working out?
I just told myself, me, wherever comes, I'll do that and I'll build from that. So when they gave me that opportunity, I just looked at it as, yeah, this is it. In every way possible, I had to grab the opportunity.
Hi everyone, welcome back to GenZFinances, where we talk to real people about real money and we explore the realest examples that the world has to give us. So for today's episode, if you've ever thought about starting something of your own, we have a guest who has gone ahead and defied the odds and has actually started something of their own and is successful at it. Today at the fourth podcast space where we're being hosted, I have the honor of introducing to you Angie Frela. Hi Angie, welcome to the podcast. How are you? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself to anyone that does not know you or has not met you before?
Hello Priscilla. Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Angie Frela and I own a salon business in Kyanja at Kyanja Mall, Dawn Unisex Salon. We work on both men and women. It's a unisex salon, of course. So yeah, we do all these services, haircuts, hair plating, dreads, and all the other related salon services.
So Angie, this is a lot of work for someone your age, right? How did you start? When did you start? How did you start this business?
I started this business last year, 2025.
Wow.
I started in 2025 and yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a big load, but you have to look at it as the only option you have and you have to bring out the best from it. So just like that, you have this and you need this to work out. So you put in every effort you have and you make sure that it actually works out. So for me, that's how I handle it.
What were you doing before you started the salon? Were you always passionate about hair and beauty? What was the story before you started the salon?
At first, I didn't see myself into the hair business. But then I had a challenge with my hair. I had this type of hair where you play today and after a few days, up here is all out and it's just showing it's old. So I told myself, I'll not be spending all this money in salon. Like after every week, I have to go to salon. That's a lot of money. I just told myself, I really need a salon of my own where I can go and have all these things done. Because now if I look at spending every time after 3 days, here the hair has grown. So it's a lot of load. So just like that, I got the interest. But then besides that also, I managed a salon that side in Kyanja. So I was a manager and I saw how the business goes. I learned a lot during the time I was managing the salons. So from there, I got the experience because I was from school, campus, final semester. I don't know what I'm going to do. And you know how life is tough out there looking for jobs and all that. You need strong connections and all that. So I didn't really have that. And I looked at it as, no, I have to look for a way out. So when my friend told me about the managing the businesses, I'm like, it's okay. I'm in. I can turn up. I can do the work. So I started like that, managing their salons, and I saw I had a big impact with the company.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, if I can do this for someone else, why can't I do this for Angie? So just like that, I started slowly.
That's nice. Yeah. So you said something. You went to campus. Yes. What were you studying before you went to manage the business?
I did Bachelor of Commerce.
Bachelor of Commerce.
Yes.
Interesting. So you've gone to university, you've studied Bachelor of Commerce, and then you're out of school right? How did that feel when you have this whole degree that people have told you is going to get you a job, but then it's not working out? How was that season for you before you actually found the job of managing a business?
I don't know if I lost hope right from school or something, but me, I always saw myself as, there's offices. I'm not sure I'll get the job there. And I just told myself, me, wherever comes, I'll do that. I'll do that and I'll build from that. When they called me, telling me about the opportunity,
Yes.
I was already someone who was like ready for whatever comes. I will start from there. So I always looked at it that I will create my own opportunity. So when something comes up, it's from that I will build, and based on that to have whatever I want. But I didn't look at it that, the degree, now this and this and this. Personally, no, I didn't do that. So I just said, what will come is what I'll go with. So when they gave me that opportunity, I just looked at it as, this is it. So, and it's in Salon, and I also had that vision of having a salon one day. So I'm like, okay, let me see how it works. As I continue with school, let me see what happens after.
You start managing a salon business. How was that for you? I believe you're fresh out of school. That means you're very young. You're managing people that are either young or could be older than you. How was that experience, and how did you handle it?
It was crazy because now I was actually still at school, final semester, weeks towards examination, but then this opportunity is here. If I don't take it, I'm going to do exams, and within 1 month, papers will be done. I don't know what would be next. So in every way possible, I had to grab the opportunity. So now I'm looking at papers and the new job.
Yeah.
It's a new job. Of course, now these are people. They're not people in the formal sector.
True.
Informal sector is crazy.
Very true.
So now we are, I was actually the youngest because now there were all older people, there are people who have been working there. So now I'm the new person there. You know how people in the informal sector, they don't do things the way we see. People want to do things their way.
They want.
They don't want rules. They don't want all that stuff. But then now I was given this job and I felt like I needed an impact. I needed to do something. So now I come in with these crazy rules and I'm like, you have to be here by this time. You guys have to put on your uniforms.
Wow.
So now I was like, everyone is just telling themselves now, this girl, she thinks she's the first. She thinks she's the first we have seen. We have seen so many managers come and go. And I just told myself, you've seen them, but it's now my time.
True.
Let me do what I can.
True.
Then when others come out, they will also do what they can. So to me, that time was hard. But then, when you get used to people, you start working with people, you coordinate, you learn each other. So we decided to just learn each one the way they are. I treated each of them the way they were.
That's amazing. That's really amazing because I'm imagining these people, because I've seen how the informal sector works.
Crazy.
And you're coming in, you're young. That means you have to give them instructions, you have to direct them and all of this. What was going through your mind when you were managing this business? Did you think that I'm doing it because I want to run a business as well? Or was it from a place of, I'm doing this for the first time and I want to do it well?
When I was doing it at first, I wasn't looking at, I am doing this because I want to open up. No. I was doing it because I just wanted the best. I wanted to leave an impact. I wanted my bosses to feel like, we brought this person and she really did a great job for us. Like, I just wanted to please my bosses, basically. So I did everything. I wanted to be seen like, she came, did this. And the fact that I've always been someone so bold, like from way back. So managing adults, people who are slightly older than you
are,
was not as hard as I thought, because I'm just like, I'm doing my thing, I'm doing my job. I'm getting paid to do this, to make things right. It was just like, guys, this is what's up and this is what has to be done. So, just like that. And I did it. I'm like, this can add to me. I'm getting knowledge. Actually, my point was to learn how to do the plating, how to see, like basically those small things that come along with salons.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a skill of my own. Because already from campus, I was doing wigs. The wig business started from campus. I didn't have a picture of a salon. I actually wanted a wig showroom.
Wow.
That was the thing I wanted, at first, to have a place having so many wigs. So I tried to look for contacts from China and all that stuff. You know that image that you create and you're like, I want to have a very big room having wigs of different types and colors. Like I just wanted to focus on wigs by Angie because it's what I started first. But then when I was in salon, I realized I can actually do more. These other things can also add up, and it's something bigger than just the wig thing.
The wig thing.
Yeah. Working in the salon, I wanted to get the skills.
You're in the salon managing it for, you said a year.
Yeah, I managed for 9 months.
9 months.
I started towards end of semester.
Yes, so 9 months. Then how do you leave the job to then start your own business? Let's get into that because I feel like that's where so many people are. How did you now leave a job that's giving you money to then start a business of your own or a salon of your own?
Where I was working, where I was managing, we had a rotation of managers because there were like 3 different branches. So they kept on rotating us. And to me, that was affecting me because I got a place, because it's in Kyanja. I got a place near my workplace.
True.
Because I wanted something that could less transport costs and all that, managing expenses basically.
Yeah.
So now if you say you are rotating me, at the end of the time, I have to go somewhere far. And if I'm going somewhere far, that means my expenses are increasing and my allowances are still the same.
True.
My salary is the same.
True.
So to me, it affected me. And then also I felt like I'll not say we're not appreciated enough, but to me, the costs...
The costs were not... The money was not adding up with what
then
they expected from you.
The pressure also. I felt like it was a lot of pressure for me because I felt like I was doing what I could to see that I get the best. But then at times, it's never enough. It's never enough because now your bosses have their expectation, they have their goals, so they have a target, you have to meet a target. Then at times you don't meet the target, you feel like you're doing less. So now you have this pressure that you carry on and you feel like, is it really it? That pressure alone. External pressure like that is too much for me. So at times I just felt like, I may not keep up with this.
True.
Because I felt like I was doing my best. I really did my best, but then it wasn't enough. So having that, I felt like, maybe let me start small. Let me start with the little knowledge I've attained and we can have something from there.
Okay, that's nice. So you said starting small. What do you mean by starting small? How did you start small in terms of how did you get the capital? Because I'm thinking you were earning a salary. You said you had maybe the wig business. Was it giving you enough money for you to start a business of your own? Help us describe the starting small.
Starting small, to me, it means starting from, I will not say starting with one comb or something, but then starting with what is there. So at that time, of course, I was earning some salary. I had a wig business that was also doing well because it was online, but it was doing well. As you know, wigs have some good profit. So I kept on saving because I started doing wigs from 2023. So that was some good time, a period of a year, plus now the job, those are 2 years. So I had some savings. I got a small room that was affordable. I just wanted to start. I just wanted to do something. Because at that time, when I left my job, end of year, I knew I had nothing. So now I tried to sketch through, try to look for jobs. I just noticed there is nothing I could do there. So I'm just like, you know what? I have my skills that I've attained. I know how to market and I have met so many people. I know how the business is done. So to me, I just decided to start I got a room, got the chairs and the mirrors, because those are like the basics of the salon.
business.
I didn't have this very fun, very cute interior and all that. It was just the room, the chairs and the mirrors. So that's how I started. Actually, I really appreciate some of my friends because they supported me from the time when it's just a room and chairs, just good work being done.
True.
You come, they work on you. Of course, you're not going to get that content that everyone goes out to those expensive salons and record. But then now ours is just like a room and just the chairs and the mirror. So some people could try, but then it was in like a nice spot and it was easy for us to record like after you moved out, we are moving. But then inside the salon, it was like hard because now it's just a
small mirror,
and
small
chairs
room,
that are not even these chairs
nice
that
chairs.
give. Then the sink is just these sinks. You feel?
Yeah, I get
so
you.
basically, it wasn't it, but then I just wanted to start. I just wanted to have something that Angie is doing this. I didn't want to sit home because at that time I'd already left home.
True.
Yeah. So when I came to work, I was staying with my friend. She gave me like the first 3 months, not 2 months, I was staying with my friend. So I reached and I felt like, she has given me all this time and all that. I need to do something for myself. So I had to move out and I rent. So now I'm renting. I can't be home. I don't have a job. I'm not going to start looking for jobs that I don't know where to get at this time.
True.
So now I'm just like, I have some money. I've been saving because I've already saved because one thing I've wanted from way back was a business. I think it was just inborn or something, but I've always wanted a business. So I had some money that I saved that I managed to rent a room. Of course, these days now you rent, you have to pay like 4 months, then security.
Yes, it's a whole process.
So now you have money for the rent, money for the chairs, and just start. That's what I told myself, and I just started like that. I kept on posting. Because now I had connections. I had people like employees. I had contacts. I've been working in salon. So I know, of course, during that time, there are people who come work, then leave, then all these different people. So now I reach out to some of them. And the fact that by the time I left, I had so many friends, not just from the place I was working from, but also outside because I'm a very social person.
True.
I love coming to our area and knowing my neighbors, having all these people, like I want to be on good terms with them.
True.
Because that's social capital for me. So now I reach out to the employees, the braiders, because now it was just basically a ladies' salon. I felt like babas, the men deserve this. Something that is
place,
lit. Something that is lit. But for the ladies, if you have somewhere they can sit and you do the work, if you do something
good
nice,
work,
she will come back. She will not mind whether she has sat where or doing what, but then you can't do that with the gents.
True.
So now that's what I did, and I started with ladies basically. So we got the clients, we posted, people reaching out, but then people reach out. Then there's a time also a friend told me, Angie, if you make some money, maybe you can change these chairs. You know how people are.
Yes.
But then you are doing nice stuff they want. So yeah, just like that. Of course, now you have to explain, when you have to work on someone, but then you have to explain as well.
Why the situation
why
is
the
the way
situation
it
is like
is.
this.
Yes.
But then me, I was hopeful. That's one thing that really pushed me. I was hopeful and I knew it would not be like this forever.
True.
And the fact that the money we were making from there, of course, we pay rent because I managed to get a room that was affordable. So pushing branding and all these things was now something that maybe that was slightly costly, but then it was all about pushing all these things. You get.
This is very, very interesting conversation. Very interesting conversation. I know so many people are relating to what you're going through, and it's sort of inspiring because you've mentioned you have a degree in Bachelor of Commerce, but you've mentioned things like marketing, you've mentioned the wig business, and you've also mentioned the belief that you knew that even though I'm starting small, it's just for this time. Now, not so many people carry that mindset. So I just want to understand, how do you think you built that in you? Your ability to know that I want a business, but I'm not even ready for the business yet, but I'm going to save. Because for many young people out there, they don't even have the knowledge of, I need to save, you understand? Or I need to learn how to market, or the side hustle at campus. How did that come about for you? Is it something you saw with your parents? Is it something you learned in school? How did that come about for you to have that ability to be forward thinking like that?
I can't say it was my parents. I grew up with my mom, and I've always seen her do things and all that stuff. So when my mom passed on, it came like something that, an eye-opener. I felt like I'm now on my own. If people come through for me, it's a win for me. If they don't, what do I have?
True.
So the fact that I've always seen things like, it's just me, I have to do me. I have to do me. If people come through, then well and okay. So the fact that I didn't have any attachment onto people that, this person is going to come, my uncle is going to come from the other one, they get me connections and all that. Because I feel like that's something that is killing so many people out there. They assume these people working in offices will come through and give them the jobs and all that. So me, I didn't look at things in that way. I just looked at things in a way that I have to do what I have to do to see that I meet whatever I have to. You get?
Yeah.
So now I had that that's now the thing that pushed me.
True.
Yeah, I just knew it's me against me. So I have to do everything I can to see that me is okay. So that's it.
Beautiful story. And what kept you going?
Yeah.
So now we have a business. Yes, we've started a business. We have the small chairs. We have the small customers that come through. Help us go through how you operated that business from where it was to, let's say, to the first time you felt like, now I am rolling. Now I'm in business. How was that process like for you?
Of course, it was exciting. Yeah, as we speak, we no longer have those small chairs. Don't get scared. Yeah, we now have that salon that you can come through and record the content that
you want.
Yeah. It's no longer the small chairs, the tiny window, the small mirrors and all that. It's now lit stuff. So it's amazing. It's a good feeling to see that you have brought up something. You built something from scratch and now it's out there. It's now a big thing because now with time, of course I had to leave the side where I was. It had other factors that were affecting it.
Which factors were those?
Location, and then it wasn't strategically located basically.
What do you mean by that?
I was basically working on appointments. I didn't have walk-ins, and that affects a salon business because you can't operate a salon business without the walk-ins. I operated on only appointments, and that was not
enough.
It wasn't enough, given the fact that we still had so many things to do. And then I'm only operating on appointments. Days where you don't have appointments, you open and you don't do anything. So to me, I felt like, this is not it also. Even when we are getting there, but I can't operate on only appointments.
True.
I need the walk-ins to add up.
True.
So that's how I decided. That's why I decided to change location. And now I got a place that I got lucky anyway, because now there was this salon that was the owners were selling it off and it was available. And then a friend told me about it. The fact that I had some money on me and all that, I decided to go in for that. And as usual, I go in fully. We shall see whatever comes from there. So, and the fact that you go in fully, it motivates you. To me, I feel like that aggressiveness is necessary at times. Because when you go in fully, you are just there now. It's here now. So what are you going to do? So you have to think through, do everything possible to see that the decision you've taken is bringing the rewards. Because now you can't come in all aggressive and you're just being aggressive, then you start chilling. Of course, it will be a waste of time.
True,
you have to put in the hard work. You have to do a lot of things to see that, it was worth it.
You've mentioned something about saloon business and needing the walk-ins and all of this. One thing we didn't get, you said you started with a small space. How much rent were you paying for it?
At that time, I was paying 500,000.
500,000 per month.
And in Kyanja, because now I always wanted people who have the money, because it's easier dealing with people who have money than people who don't. You get who have less. I'm not going to say they don't.
I think it's
People
a business kind of thing.
If you're dealing with people of high end, it's easier because you have a haircut of 20,000, and it will be something easy for them.
Sure.
But then if you're working with these other people, a haircut of 5,000, someone will be like, maybe let's make 3 and all that. So the sales will be so low. Even if the location and the expenses are small, but the sales are also low. So to me, even when I was starting small, because now if you say 500 people will be like, hey, all that, couldn't you get a room of 200 or 300?
Yeah.
But then my goal was to work with the people, because now I was working in an area like Kyanja. People, everything that side, homes, rentals are so expensive. Everything is expensive because they're basically apartments. And then now malls. So the rooms this side are usually cheaper, but then also they are priced highly.
True.
At that time, I started with a room of 500. But then if you look at a place where you're doing something, yes, the room is not lit. We are now looking at back then.
Yeah.
The room is not lit, but you're in Kyanja. You're doing your hair from Kyanja.
Yes.
So I'll charge you 100K. You get, you'll come to plait your hair, I'll tell you 100,000 because we're in Kyanja.
How did you start even with social media? Did you know how to do it? Because there's so many businesses that operate, but they've not yet learned how to use social media to get the sales. How was it working for you to enable you to leave that small room of 500K to now a bigger space with all of this equipment in it?
I've always loved cameras. I'm surprised today I'm feeling funny, but then I've always loved cameras, like just getting there. And so now I noticed the place wasn't going to do for me if I don't have a media account, like media platforms and all that. So starting up like the media, of course now content, the fact that our generation, if you don't do content, you're not out there.
True.
People don't know anything about you. Even if you're plaiting the best hair.
Very true.
You're doing the best things. But if you've not posted, right now, if someone asks, hey, which salon does she work from? Dawn. They'll run to media and check,
search for it.
and search it out. So now, if you don't have a media platform, there's nothing you can tell people. Even when I do something nice to you, Priscilla, I plait your hair, I do everything. Then a friend is like, Priscilla, where did you plait from? You'll be like, I plaited from Dawn. Then they go to check Dawn, even if they've seen your hair already. So to me, I felt like having my work, evidence of what I've done. Because now content is basically evidence.
True.
Having evidence of what I've done, I have to now show people that I actually do this. You get, I actually do this. So come through, I do this. I go out to meet people, maybe partying and all that. I'd be like, hey guys, man, I have a salon by the way I do this. So it was that.
What do you think has been your biggest lesson from moving from that small space, or even moving from being employed to that small space and then to where you are now?
What I can say about all these steps and all that, one has to be patient. Yeah, one has to really patient. You must know what you want. You have to stick to that. You know, knowing what you want is okay, but you have to do everything in line to that. That's the only way it can work out. Like for me, that's one thing I learned. If you want something, go for it. Make sure you do everything in line to that to make sure it works out. Yeah, so to me, that's something I really learned along all these things. People say, I learned this and all that. No. For me, chasing what you want and you sticking to it. Yeah.
So you manage a salon. I'm thinking you have employees, you have people that work for you, you have maybe someone in charge of social media and all of that. You have someone in, okay, maybe not social media, but you have people that do things for you. So how do you manage those people? Because like you said, with salon business, you'll hire someone for a month, they quit. you'll hire someone to do your finances. They are doing all of this. So how do you manage that, or how did you even manage that to reach the place that you are from that small space to now?
One thing I can say is managing adults is the hardest thing, because now you assume these are adults. They should be knowing things. But at the end of the time, you notice they are also just like kids. Adults forget. Something you talked about yesterday, today will be done the other way. So managing adults is not easy. But then you give people time. You keep telling them the same thing. If we talked about it today, make sure you say it again tomorrow. If they're still doing the same thing, it is very okay. With informal sector, you have to accept that. They're not going to be like corporate people. They know this is what they have to do and all that. These are educated people. But at times, people in the informal sector, they're not even educated.
True.
You get? Not all, but you find some are not educated. So a person who has not gone to school cannot do these things the way a person who went to school does, like life-wise. But then they do the work. You get, they do the nice stuff.
Yeah, they
are better. They're better at plating. They do better haircuts. So at the end of the day, you need these people from the informal sector to do for you the work. So now you need to, that's where understanding them comes in. You need to know them the way they are. Treat them, this one is like this. Treat that person from that angle. And it worked for me from my workplace. So now I had to bring in the same knowledge and experience. People from the informal sector are managed like this, are handled like this. You have to go slow with them. You don't have to get tired telling people to do the same thing. Of course, with time, you can't be on the same thing every day. With time, gets to know that, now this is supposed to be like this. When they tell us to come early, okay, even if I'm late, at least by this time, they can't be telling me the same thing every day. They're also humans, of course, at the end of the time. So you get to that
drive.
Yes, you become self-driven with time, and you get to know. So it flows with time. I noticed that when working with people like this, if you have a busy place, if you have a really busy place and you get the clients, the walk-ins and all that, plus the media you boost and all that, it's easier to work on commission than working on salaries. Yeah.
Wow.
People out there prefer, if they're making the money, they would choose commission over salaries. But now salaries are restricted. They will tell you a certain amount of money and that's fixed. And then on salaries, these people become reluctant. Their money is assured, of course, and all that. But then people working on commission are usually active. They want to bring out the best because they want to maintain a client. So now it's not just a burden on you, but it's also a burden on them. Yes.
If they want to get paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have the need, like, I want to work on this person so this person can come back. This person can tell the friend about me. So it becomes easy.
Wow.
So that's something that made my work also be
That's
easy.
amazing. That's really, really amazing. The fact that you have actually added a commission-based kind of system, because I'm thinking that means that your customer care is very good.
Yes.
Because someone wants to make money from this client. It also means that your books are sort of balanced automatically because you know what you need to spend on and everything. That's very, very amazing. So how big is your team that you're managing so far?
Right now, we are about 10 employees.
10 employees,
yes.
Wow.
So I count myself because now when it comes to wigs, it's me that does that. So all these people have like areas, sectors where they are best at. When they say wigs, Angie's there. When they say hair plating, there's a braider. When they say haircut, there's a barber. But then most times I always tell them it's good. You're a barber, yes, but then you can learn these small things. You get, let me say, unplating. The client shouldn't come. The braider is busy, and you're a barber, and you can do these things. Because these days we have male hairdressers.
True.
So if you can do this, it's something small. That's added money for you. It's more commission for you. If you learn how to wash the hair, there are some things that you don't really need to be, Yes, we have experts, and the hairdressers do that. But then the fact that you work in a salon, there are things you learn automatically. Unplating, you don't need logic because people unplate from home.
Very
people
true.
who have never been to salons.
Very true.
Yeah. So there are those small things you can learn that can
help you
Yeah.
boost. That's nice. We have a degree, Bachelor of Commerce, right? Have you ever used the skills you got from university in your business, and how are you even using them? Because you seem to have scaled your business at such a fast rate. So I'm thinking, how have you managed your finances? Is it related to the degree that you did? Have you incorporated any of those things that have made you grow your business at such a fast rate?
Of course, now the school bit of it, I will not lie, it added a lot. It added a lot. The fact that now at school we study marketing, we have a course unit, marketing, business communication skills, we have all this accounting. So most of these things, I apply them in my business. I market my business myself. I handle my media platforms myself. And most times I'm always at the salon, at the reception, myself. I have someone there, but then I love it when I engage. Because now most times the mistake business people do out there in salon business, it's hard if you handle your business to someone. They'll not treat it the same way you would have treated it. Because now they don't know your goals, they don't know what you want, they don't know all these things. But you understand what you want in your business. You understand how you came up with the business. So you have so many things. You have so many things that you're looking at this time. To me, I feel like giving it time also. So school really added a lot. I can't say otherwise.
You've scaled your business. You've got it to a place where you want it to be. How have you been able to now manage the money that has come from it at a young age? How do your friends perceive you? How does your family take you? How do you manage the money in this young age? Because we see so many people when in our ages, when they get the money, their life changes. Like their lifestyle is different. It becomes something that could, how are you managing that? How are you dealing with maybe the people that would love to now be on you because you're making money? How are you dealing with friends that have not yet made it yet, but are maybe still figuring out the life of a young person out there?
Staying humble, being humble, it's something that has really helped me. The fact that I come from a humble background and it has boosted me out here. Of course, now there's excitement that comes with having some money. You get. Of course, I will not say we are making a lot of money up there. No, we just have money that is enough to manage the life we are living at this time.
Sure.
Of course, now as you grow, things become different. But at my age and the things that I'm viewing at this time, it could be enough. You get.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like being humble. Of course, we all have dreams. We all want to have this. Maybe you have this car, maybe you have this. But then you can't have it with just the small money you're making.
True.
You get. So now you have to manage business money differently and your personal money differently. Personally, at my salon, I pay myself. And beyond that, I don't use anything.
Wow.
If I work, I get my commission because I'm an employee at my salon.
True.
If I work there, I get commission. So I'll just take myself that I'm some hairdresser out there who got a job at Dawn and that's the money I'm getting. I need to work hard. That's why I separated the wigs by Angie as a stylist and the Dawn business
as an independent
they are
entity.
Different, but they're all under Dawn. Because wigs by Angie is a stylist at Dawn Unisex Salon.
Wow.
You get. So to me, having different and not mixing things, worked for me.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So to any young person out there that is, let's say, trying to start out, what would you tell them? What advice would you maybe give them at the end of the day?
The advice I can give someone out there, start. If you feel like it's what you want, you feel like you have that, because now it's not easy doing something you have no knowledge about. You cannot just go on the streets and start because they said start. You have to know, what am I best at? Or if like you have to get something you feel you have interest in. I had interest in beauty. I love beauty. I love all these things. As a girl, I love being a girl.
Yeah.
So now if you have the interest, then you get an opportunity to learn from the sector. It's easy. So you have to just start. That's where the word start comes in from. Just start. Start with what you want, what you have. Start with wherever. Have a goal. Chase that. Work in line to that. With that, it can work out. Unless otherwise, we have different chances in life and opportunities and luck.
Yeah.
So it's not luck. I'll not call it luck. But if you work hard, you push your goals,
you're gonna make it.
Yes.
You're gonna make it.
Yes.
So what are you chasing right now? What's your vision for your brand and your business?
Right now, I'm building a brand. I'm trying to build Dawn brand. So Dawn brand has the Dawn Unisex Salon. I have, of course, now the plans are there, looking at Dawn Bites. We have Dawn Bites as well.
Wow.
Though it's still at a small, so it's not something I'm talking about right now. But then I'm trying to build a brand where we have different businesses. Yeah, I was actually inspired by my former boss.
Wow.
He had businesses, he had a brand, and he did all this. He had a restaurant, had saloons, had Airbnbs, and you see that he was trying so much to see that everything works out, you get, but under his brand. So I was inspired. I'm like, yo,
That's the
indeed,
goal.
I'm inspired.
That's the goal.
So,
yes,
yeah, but
this has
that's it.
been so nice. I think so many people are in awe of what you've been able to do and what you've been able to achieve, and at such a young age. So my last question is, if you were able to meet the younger version of yourself, maybe that young girl that had just started university, what's one thing you would tell her from this perspective now? Or even just a particular younger version of yourself that you feel like you would love to sit down with her, what would you tell her?
Maybe I'll just tell her, you got this. Like, you got this. That's all I can say.
Wow.
You got this.
Wow. I love your story. I love how everything has come together for you to have such a beautiful brand and a beautiful business. I'll give you an opportunity to let the people know to come to your salon. Like, this is your opportunity
Best
to
moments.
market and shine. Yeah.
So yeah, it's my time to shine. So we are going to talk about Dawn Unisex Salon. We are at Kyanja Mall, ground floor, room G08. So come through, guys. We are opposite Total Petrol Station in Kyanja, because there are so many malls in Kyanja. It's easy for someone to mistake Kyanja Mall for maybe US Mall or West Mall. But we are at Kyanja Mall, opposite Total Petrol Station, room G08, and on the ground floor. We do a lot of things at the salon: haircuts, hair plating, nails, manicure and pedicure, of course. We do dreads. We do everything. We tint. Yeah, most of the salon services, we offer them. Eyebrows, lashes. Yeah, you find us at Kyanja Mall, room G08, or you can just check out our media platform. Check out on TikTok. Maybe you can reach out. My number is in the bio. You can text me anytime. We can talk about anything you would wish. Wigs, all that stuff. We have wigs for hire. We have wigs for purchase, all that. You can reach out to me.
Wow. So guys, you've heard it from Angie. Please go ahead and support her. You've heard her work ethic. You've heard how good her work is. I believe that you will get your money's worth. And this was the end of our podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, we are GenZFinances, and we're being hosted here at the fourth podcast space. And we'd love it if you could comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions in regards to business in general, or if you have any questions for Angie and her journey of running a salon and a beauty business, please leave them in the comments below. Interact and ask all of these questions that you have, and we'll make sure to take time and actually reply, or even get Angie herself to reply. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Follow Angie, support her business, and let's support each other and make this world a better place. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely day.